G'day guys, welcome to another layout and welcome to my channel if you're new here. I want to start today's video off a little bit differently. So I'll tell you straight off the bat, I'm using Missy Moo Crafts Mama's Vintage Flowers collection, and I'm using specifically paper number 10 and paper number 8. Now it was requested last time that I used Missy Moo Crafts papers. Where do you get them from? Well, a little bit of research, went back to the store. It actually turns out that these are Australian papers made and created by Missy Moo Designs from Created by You Paper Crafts, which is at Burpengary. So if you're local to me, you can go to the store and you can pick them up just like I do, or you can jump online. I will have a link in the description below to the papers that I'm using here. And if you're an Aussie, it's awesome to support your local, especially if you've got papers that are being designed and created, printed, everything locally. I mean, likewise in the US, US or Poland, or wherever you get your papers from, UK, it's good to support local where you can. It's great to have all the bells and whistles of the stuff that everyone's got, but it's also nice to have something that's uniquely different and it's something that not everyone has. I like doing that too. Now, I want to take you down a bit of a different rabbit hole with this particular video. This video is super simple. All I'm doing is fussy cutting from one sheet and I'm assembling the layout. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying that on this particular piece, I'm using the cream cardstock that I'm using is actually Recollections brand. I think it is Recollections, or yes, it's Recollections, and it's just one that I get from Spotlight. And to be honest, guys, I'm up to video number 9. I'm telling you, my throat is getting sore. I can't leave it this long to do this many voiceovers. It's just insanity. So excuse me if my voice sounds a bit raspy. So basically, I've gone to town and I have color coordinated the cream and the blacks and the browns. I've used Scorched Timber again. I love that color. I love it, love it, love it. Lumberjack Plaid, Uncharted Mariner, Scorched Timber. They are dead set. Oh, I just love those deep, rich colors. I love them. Now, this is the little direction I want to go. So, whilst I am fussying with the layout and putting things all together and all that sort of bizzo, I want you to think about something. If it was the last photo that you would ever get of that person, even if the photo was blurry, even if someone's head might have been cut off in part of the photo, would you still scrapbook that photo? Think about it. Would you? Because I'm telling you now, I was given a small amount of photos, but photos from a very, very dear friend. So when we've left Rathdowney when I was 6 years of age and we moved to Caboolture, our very first neighbours were Dell and Barry Smith. And they stayed in our lives our entire childhood. Literally, Dell is still in my life. Well, she's now moved up to Mackay, but she such a dear lady, and just honestly, I was in her daughter's wedding. It was just like the connection with that family is off the charts. Anyway, This particular photo, I was looking through. Now, this is what happens to me sometimes. These photos I cannot ever get again. These were taken in the 80s. These were taken on our old style film cameras, you know, the box brownie and all that sort of thing. And these photos, they just can't be replicated again because it's got my aunt in it, my uncle, two uncles in it, and Barry, Dell's husband. Now, sadly, 3 out of the 5 people in this photo are no longer with us. So that's when it tweaks my curiosity. Would you scrap this photo? You can clearly see that this is not a digital photo that has been edited and refined down to the perfect megapixel. Like, it hits different. It's from that era. It is what it is. And clearly something is in front of the camera and it's not quite, like, it's, by all photography standards, it's a crap photo. But by emotional side of things, you know, when you're thinking love and family and joy and fun times, it's important. Now, these photos I've had in my possession now for probably 6 months, and I've been stewing on it. And I knew the day that I found papers that would go with them, I would buy the papers. And that is what happened when I walked in to the craft store, the scrapbooking store created by you down at Burpengary. And I've got to be honest with you, I saw these and they just spoke to me. And I'm like, that's the papers. That's it. Look no further. That's the collection. This is the designer. This is what I want to scrap with these photos. They're stunning. The artwork and the precision on these papers, they're beautiful. And it's not that these photos are of it, you know, it's not a wedding, it's not a birthday. It could have been a birthday, but, you know, it's not any specific memory that needs to be documented in a certain way. It's just, I remember we used to have so please indulge me, I've got to tell you, I remember back then, you know, Dell and Barry would come over, they would bring their kids, Darren and Karen, which is hilarious because my name is Karen and I have married a Darren. Not the same Darren, a different Darren. But anyway. And the kids would play. There's another photo where we're out playing cricket. I hate cricket. I have to tell you now, don't come at me. If you love cricket, you love it. I get it. I personally am not a cricket person. I don't do heat. I don't do the sun. It's just who I am. I'm a paper crafter. You know what I'm saying? You've got indoor people, you've got outdoor people. I am an indoor people. That is just who I am. So, you know, and we'd play cricket. I just so vividly remember the laughs, the stupidity. It was never drunkenness or anything like that. It was just, or if it was, I never noticed it. You know, I was just a kid at the time. But, you know, in the 80s, it was just a much more innocent time, you know, like, and it just, for me personally, it needs to be documented. It's times in my life that it just needs to be documented. And, you know, that's what this page is all about. I wanted to document the memory for myself, but I also wanted to prompt you guys to think about the photos pre-digital era. You know, think about the photos that you've got in a shoebox at the back of your cupboard that you think, oh, someone else can go through them whenever. Because just because it hasn't been taken in the digital age, I mean, realistically, okay, you can take a photo on your phone now and you can edit that thing to the point of nothing in it even remotely looking like the situation you were in. Like, you can literally remove the background. You can remove objects. You can add objects. There's just so much you can do with, and don't get me wrong, these applications are amazing. They are so, so good. And they are exactly, the era that we're in. It is what it is. But I just think that we need to continue to capture our pasts. I'm not a huge historian or anything like that. My mum does that. That's her. She researches dead people and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's just, family history, all that. That side of it, my history, my memories, that is what I want to capture for my generations to come. That's what I want. These are things that my girls, like, they see these photos and they're like, that would be so cool. I can recall when I was younger, and my other aunt and uncle, who are not in this photo, Auntie Essie and Auntie Essie, good God, now I've gone back a generation. Hang on a minute. Auntie Elsie and Uncle Ray used to come over, and I remember they used to come over on a Saturday night, and they'd already had dinner, and we'd already had dinner, and then kids, seen it or heard, get outside and play, whatever, and they would go and, because, kids were seen and not heard, and if we were not allowed to just sit in front of the TV, that was not happening. But we were sent outside to play or whatever, and they'd play poker, and they used their 1 cent pieces and their 2 cent pieces. It was hilarious. They'd always turn up with everyone had just saved their 1 and 2 cent pieces to play poker on Saturday night. It was so cool. And it was just amongst us. It wasn't, there was never any $500 bets or anything like that. It was your 1 and 2 cent pieces. And that's how they entertained themselves. And it was such a much more simple time. It was fantastic. And I remember they used to play canasta as well. And, it was, instead of everyone sitting on their computer, they would do this. And it was just a really, I don't know, it's just a different era. It just hits different. And that's why I wanted these papers. They look old, obviously. They look older. They look of the era, of the time. And they go with the colours in this particular photo. And when I saw this, I only bought 2 sheets, just the 2 that you've seen, this one and the one that I fussy cut. And it works. It totally works. And this is just a photo of everyone under the house at my mum and dad's place. And I remember my dad had just bought this house, and he was literally the second third person in the family to buy a home. And because that was the time, that was the thing. So my dad was the single dad, and my nana lived with us and helped dad out. So he'd go to work and nana would look after us and send us to school and all that sort of stuff. And it was fantastic. It was a good time. Listening to their stories now, it was a financially difficult time. The 80s, the recession, all that sort of stuff. But they pulled through, they got through it, they, did what they had to do, and I'm sure that's exactly what we're doing now. I know I fall back on a lot of the things that, from the stories that I have heard, I'm sorry, I just yawned. I apologise. Gee whiz. I've just done my 8th or 9th voiceover in a row. And I've done it in the morning so that I didn't yawn all the way through. And that's the first yawn I've done. So I'm very impressed with that. That's my gold mica powder mica powder paint that I make up. And this is my layout, guys. This is it. So I just go around the outside edge with some scorched timber just to give it a little bit more definition. And that is my layout. So if you've made it this far in my video, thank you for indulging me with my little bit of history there. And I will have a link in the description below for the papers if you're interested, if you're an Aussie. I'm not sure where she posts to. I think it's probably just Aussie at this point. And I mean, she's been there for 20 odd years, so you know. But yeah, so this is my layout. Don't forget, I would love it if you would consider subscribing if you're getting value from my videos, from my channel. If I'm able to teach you something here and there. Like, look at that, just the layering up of the butterflies and the flowers and it all goes together. And like I said, that photo is not the perfect photo, but it's the perfect memory for me. So don't forget, I do have my buy me a coffee link in the description if you'd like to support the channel, and my Facebook and Instagram links are there as well. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love it if you left me a comment, and I will be back tomorrow with another video. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.